Hey, what's up guys, it's Matt. The other day I did a video about is RT school hard? So it's something I've seen pop up, not just in my comments, but just in general, and again, like I had said, across a lot of the different healthcare platforms. Today I wanted to go kind of a step further, so analyzing that a little further. I've actually gotten, I think, a few comments before, as well as actually a message before, asking if the math in RT school was hard, or if I was good at math or something like that. So this video is just gonna be a quick one about that. So the math in RT school, is it hard? No. I've done nothing in RT school in my first year that has been beyond kind of the most basics of basics math. Maybe a little bit of what would be considered algebra, but it's really not that bad. There are some formulas to memorize, but honestly, memorizing a formula is probably the hardest part, but actually computing the answer of that formula is just basic math. You know, half the time it's literally the old, you know, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, order of operations. Like, if you can plug numbers into variables and do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, guys, it's really not that difficult. So I would say the hardest part of the math is probably remembering the order of operations if it's been a while, and just not freaking out about it. You know, you see these long, like, scary equations, like, oh my gosh, like, how am I ever going to do that? And really just remembering, okay, well, if you remember how to set up the equation, and you know what numbers go where. And honestly, I found that if you just practice, that's where repetition really comes in handy. Not even with real numbers, but just like rewrite that blank equation, like, you know, 40 or 50 times down on a piece of paper. Like, I guarantee you'll remember it. And then we're just remembering, normally those variables aren't similar numbers. Like the variables represent very different numbers. If you go back to my video where I did the ideal alveolar gas equation, it's like you're not going to mix up PaCO2 and barometric pressure, because if someone had a PaCO2 of 756, they would probably be dead, or something would be terribly wrong with them. So, you know, I think the idea is just not freaking out about the math. It's really not that hard. You know, you do a lot of conversions, like in the metric system, from grams to milligrams or whatever, like with drug calculations. Like, just follow up, like, stick to one method, I guess, would be my advice there. Don't try to game the system and learn 15 different ways to do the same thing and try to figure out which one's easier. Just stick to one and learn it, and it'll be the easiest one for you to remember. I would say sometimes you get into some of the physics of respiratory therapy that might involve some complex formulas. In my experience with my program, I haven't had to, like, learn those formulas per se. So, you know, if your program requires you to learn more of those physics-based formulas, okay, yeah, it might be a little more difficult for you, especially if you don't have any physics in your background. But just, again, in general, is the math in RT school hard? I'm gonna go with no. Just remember how to do your order of operations, and don't be scared of big, long equations, because the idea is that you memorize what the equation represents, what the result of the equation gets you, and then it's just plugging in and doing basic math. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. Take it easy, don't stress about the math, and I'll talk to you guys soon.